Welcome. I'm Carmela, and this is Under the Spotlight. For those of you who already know who our guest is today, I know you're on standby, super excited and waiting to see. We send out a weekly heads-up email to all of our VIP audience, and if you're not a part of the VIP audience, I encourage you to become a part of the VIP audience right now. Just go ahead and put your name and email in to carmelasterling.com. You'll see VIP list. And every week we'll let you know in advance who's coming. And this week is a lady that inspired me and wowed me from what she posted on social media, and wowed in a way that touched my soul. My husband always says, let's go get Carmela some soul food. And that means we're going to eat Italian. My family, both sides, are from Naples. And when I saw this lady's post, I just thought, who is she? All this travel over Italy and wowing me with these pictures of food and lovely landscape and all the architecture. And I quickly became friends and then fell just head over heels in like and in love with Grace Gallo, my guest for the show today, who brings us a little landscape love, a little plants, a little food. I said, can we please save the food until the end? Because after the show today, I'm definitely going to want some baked ziti. Grace Gallo, good morning and welcome in from Italy. Hello, my beautiful friend.
Grazie. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno a tutti. Thank you for having me. This is a pleasure.
You are very welcome. Thank you for saying yes. You're in Italy right now. I can see you with the halo over your head, which you deserve.
Oh, yes, my mirror, my beautiful antique mirror.
I was sharing with Grace, and then I'm going to toss to her. She has lots of tips for you today from travel and business and personal insight, but she's in Italy. I saw her post one day and I thought, oh, those are really pretty pictures. And then the next day, those are beautiful pictures. And Grace, while Peter's rolling through these pictures, I laugh at this because I think those weren't pictures like from, image search. Those were your view today while you're having lunch. It's extraordinary. You've had lunch in some of the most beautiful places. Can you run through some of them for us, Grace, as Peter shows some of the pictures, please?
Sure. I mean, in Italy itself, are you meaning just in Italy?
Just in Italy. Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. As you know, I'm sort of a bit global, but Italy's become my base. I was initially supposed to go, I still have my company in New York. I was going to go back and forth, but I seem to be staying more here than going to New York. But yeah, I mean, there's so many places to choose from in Italy and even in Florence and down south. The food is extraordinary. I mean, we're right in, at the Tuscan here in Florence. We get all the flavors of the Tuscan, foods. So it's exceptional. I don't think I've had a bad meal. Yeah, even when I ordered my turkey for Thanksgiving, I still love to do Thanksgiving here. I've done it 3 years in a row, and the turkeys are exceptional. I have to put an order in at the local San Lorenzo market here is fantastic. It's so big and it's got everything.
So home originally, you were born in Italy though, yes? You were born in Italy and then Australia and Hong Kong and New York. Do I have that timeline right? So you still have your company in New York? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was 8 when we left Italy, so I was young. So my family, have a giggle when they hear me speak Italian, and because they call it a minestrone. It's a bit of everything because of more my travels. But I was 8 when I left, so hence, my Italian is okay. I actually understand a lot more than I speak. I speak it, but again, everyone knows it's. I'm not originally Italian. When I started speaking and I was coming here and they were saying, oh, where are you from? I said, but I'm Italian. I was born here. They're going, yeah, but where are you from? So I couldn't get away with saying that I was Italian. Yeah, because I grew up somewhere else, hence the accent. But I grew up in the Campania region down south and, grew up in Australia. And then I got an incredible job offer in Hong Kong and I spent 7 years there. It was only going to be a 2-year contract. contract, ended up being 7. It was a great place at that time in the 90s. It was wonderful. I mean, so much happening. And what I loved the most, what I fell in love with, which is similar in New York, is the international connections. I mean, I was at a party one Saturday and there were like 18 nations there, people from all over the world. It's so interesting. I love it. I find, we're always learning something new, fascinating, all the different cultures and customs. Is wonderful. I've always enjoyed that. So then I got the job offer to move in New York, and again another 2-year contract, and stayed 22. So I fell in love with New York. So
Oh,
yeah,
New
yeah,
York. Oh, do you
yeah.
just love New York? But what brought you there? What if you can you give us in a nutshell what your business is? Because I was thinking as you're speaking, we're all wondering what, but your application can be in any business. We love connecting with people. We like taking pictures of where we are. Yours just happen to be extraordinary, but many of us want that lifestyle. What do you do for a living? What's the work world, please?
My background is in marketing. I started marketing. I was in the fashion industry and jewelry, cosmetics, and home. So that was what I started with. But when you become self-employed, which I did in New York, you have to take whatever comes on your plate. So I went and did other things. That's one of the tips I think I can give in business, especially being self-employed, where you have to hustle. I think networking is key. Just get out there and network. There's so many associations. I mean, what I loved in New York too, I remember when I Googled when I first got there to see if I could join some women's organizations and charity organizations that I wanted to be a part of, more on the education side. There's just thousands of things available. There's so many women's organization get together. It was fantastic for me. It was really great. I felt like I'd found my tribe. And I was in Women in Communication for a while, a business professional, International Business Professional Women's Organization. That's an amazing organization. That was actually 90 odd years ago started, and Eleanor Roosevelt was a member. 5 first ladies were members. It's an incredible organization. If anyone wants the link, I can provide it. They have chapters all over the world, and I was the VP of promote programs for a couple of years, and I put together the summits there was incredible bunch of women coming from all over the world. So it's
I love
a great
that.
interest. Yeah. So
What is the link for that one? Do you, if you know offhand? Or what?
bpw.com, I think it is. It had a few changes over the last 5 years, 6 years. Some friends were the presidents. I think it's Business Professional Women's Organization. Actually, there's an Italian one as well. Like I said, I joined. There's a Moxie Exchange. That was fun, with a fun, quirky
Love it.
group of women. Moxie. Everyone had Moxie. That was amazing. I was a member there for a while. But there's the Italian one, a national organization. National, is it NOA? National American Italian Women's Organization is
Love
another
it.
one. An
What's
Italian
been the best
American.
benefit out of those in networking and connecting with other women, business women? What can you say to all of us as far as the best benefit? Yes, friendship. There's always that. That's always
Yes,
wonderful.
yes,
What has
that's the
grown out of
first. I mean,
connecting? Go ahead.
but also business wise, I mean, networking, people that share the same values. I think getting into business and trying to make business connections is also similar to when you're finding a partner, a personal partner. You can find people that share your values, and that's what I found with a lot of these women's organization, is that we shared a lot of our that same values. And I was on a
Love
board
that.
of a couple of charities. We did a lot for charities. I had some of my suppliers say, "Oh my God, what does Grace want now? What do you want us to donate now?" So it's for a good
That's so
cause.
awesome. I love that. So Grace is recently working on another. You have multiple. You're marketing. You're helping people with other connecting people since you speak multiple languages. You're
Well, they're
you're
all my
translating.
photos.
You're helping people. It's really kind of extraordinary. But what's really cool is there are many people like me who fell in love with what she was posting, pictures of herself having lunch. Here she is traveling back to Australia, going back to her company in New York. I'm like, what do you do? I sent her this message one day, and she said, I do international business. I'm a marketing and business consultant. And I'm not the only one that wants to travel specifically to Italy, although I do love New York and I've never been to Australia. Grace is actually going to put together a little travel program, for not a program, but she's going to hand select places to go if you make the trek to Italy. Grace, I'm absolutely losing my mind that you're putting this together, because there isn't a place that you've gone that I wouldn't want to be, and I'd especially want to be there with you. Talk us through how to connect with you and really how we're going to put this together for everybody. Please, your travel.
Well, I thought about what would I want in a tour, especially in Italy. So for me, I like, 5 star. I want pampering. I want good food, good wine, and chocolate. So
And
I started researching all of those, and of course, Perugia. And so I thought, let me make it a Tuscany lifestyle theme. So we're going through Tuscany, eating our way through Tuscany, and really immersing ourselves in the Tuscany lifestyle with a winery, superb meals. Cocktail parties. My friends say, why did you choose cocktail parties? I thought, well, we don't want sit down dinners. We want a beautiful location and have cocktails. Picked beautiful locations rather than sit down. Everyone, sit down and have a dinner is nice, but I just think moving around in a beautiful space, having cocktails, and Italians do fabulous also aperitivo, and a lot of the finger food are incredible. So I just decided I'm going to do more cocktail parties and less sit down dinners.
oh,
So,
I love this idea.
and the pasta making place with Michelin star chefs is going to be exciting. There's some fabulous chefs, of course, in Italy. Yeah, I've embedded that in as well. I've allocated, because I always think, you should enjoy. For me, I love, whenever I'm stressed, I go and book myself into a spa. So
Mhm.
I've ended the trip, I think, at an extraordinary spa in Tuscany. It's just beautiful. It's a Duke's palace that was turned into a spa with the food is superb, and the pools. They have a grotto where it's got the natural terme from underground waters that are supposed to be very healing. So I've included that in, because the last 2 days after we've eaten our way through Tuscany with wine and chocolate, I think we deserve 2 full days at an extraordinary spa. So
2 days at the spa, not two
yeah,
hours, but 2 days. I'm
2 days. We
completely
need 2 days.
melting here.
Well,
Grace
we're
is
actually 4 nights at the spa place, but 2 days. I'm taking people to Lucca, and Pisa, which are nearby, which I think are good to see for day trips. And actually, Lucca's a beautiful, lovely, lovely town
should we
with
book this
great
as
chefs.
couples? Is it husband and wife, single women, families? I mean, what's some guidance here? Everybody's
It's
welcome kind of thing? What are you thinking,
Everybody's
Grace?
welcome. Yeah, everybody's
Nice.
welcome. I haven't really made it family. I mean, you can bring children along, I suppose, but it's geared more on. I think more of consider it a retreat for women. I mean, I've
Oh,
connected this with a lot of my women's organization, because I think it's like a women's retreat. But of course, I'm going to welcome
wow.
couples. But I don't know if it'd be suitable for children, not
Well, I'm just
maybe
asking because
teenagers.
I'm
Uh,
thinking like a women's retreat too. Like I would come and be there with you. We would drink and eat our way through Tuscany. But right now we have husband, we have a nanny, we have daughters, sons-in-laws, everybody wanting to tag along. I'm just trying to get some clarification.
no, they're more than welcome. It's just,
Oh my God.
shared
Oh my
room
gosh.
and yeah.
So as you travel for business, you speak multiple languages. Can we lean on you a little bit? Now you've put together a personal package, a tour, so to speak, for women and men and families, and however it all shakes out to see. Do we have a website that people can go and see? Yes. Is it Grace Travel
Travel
with
with
Style
style
and
and grace.
Grace? Travelwithstyleandgrace.com. Go and see, and then you can decide. You'll see everything, the whole package, where you're going, pricing, all that she's put together because people like me really wanted her personal touch. And you do that in business as well, the personal touch, the good guidance. Can you give us all some business tips, how you've been able to wrap your whole world up in multiple countries and languages, and what are some good business tips to have the relationships that you have? Or just going to toss it back to you, Grace, to hear from you, from your perspective, after being many years in business, from a very humble beginning to a very successful, and now launching something new in your later years, which is just incredible.
I think with my marketing background, the backbone of marketing is research. Research. So, um, and also, if you're going to work in another country, you find out, you research customs and, culture. You have to immerse yourself. It's their home, it's their culture. When I was living in Hong Kong, some people were saying, "Ugh, the Chinese this and they do that," and pick on their. I say it's their country; they can do what they want. So I think you have to be respectful to their culture. It's not your culture. If you want to stick with, your culture, stay home. Don't, you know what I mean? So be more
For sure.
accepting of where you are, so um and research the culture and the country, what to do and what not to do, you know.
Favorite
So
place to travel? Do you have a favorite place to travel for yourself? Like just to decompress or for
I
inspiration?
mean, I love the Loire Valley in France. That's just
Ooh,
spectacular, and location I think is just beautiful. But used to go a lot when my husband was French. But Venice is my favorite. I don't know, something
it
about Venice.
is?
I must have had a past life there.
Ooh,
Sounds
I
weird.
love hearing
But,
that. Oh my
but
gosh.
I remember the first time I went there when I was very young. I was like, "Oh my God, it's just very unique." Have you been? Have you been to Venice?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
It
Yes.
it's yeah, it's unique. You don't see it anywhere, and it's to me, it's special. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful place, and I know actually when I lived in Hong Kong, I did quite a bit of charity with some of my Japanese friends who they actually put in millions of dollars into trying to save Venice because it was sinking. I mean, a lot of it is still sinking, but they've managed to do a lot
Thank
of
God.
the best engineers in the world came together to help ensure that it doesn't sink. Oh, there's
Oh,
view
that's
from
so
my apartment.
wonderful.
So yeah, Venice is very unique. If you haven't seen Venice, go. It's just, and it's romantic. I don't know, walking those canals and, Piazza San Marco. It's just,
That's
and
a
the
San Marco.
gondolas. It's. I don't know. It's something special about Venice.
I agree. One of my favorite memories of being in Italy is with my mother in Piazza San Marco. And
Ah,
she was feeding the pigeons. She wasn't alone on that one, but enjoying feeding the pigeons. Do you have a couple questions from your viewing audience? Favorite food in Italy? Do you have a favorite dish? Favorite something to eat?
um, I think their seafood here is amazing when they're in the right places, like
Yeah.
by the seaside. I was researching a winery on the island of Elba yesterday, and putting together some things and extraordinary seafood from there. So that's my next strip you'll see on my social media posts will be
I can't wait.
Elba.
Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, it looks amazing. So a lot of this, the seafood here is fresh. It's really fresh.
Mm,
You know, Italians are about fresh. Look, they were the first ones that did farm to table. I remember first taking one of my Chinese friends 25 years ago here. She traveled with me, and she just couldn't believe, you know, the flavors, the rich flavors. And I even brought her to my family with my cousins, and my aunt would go pick all the herbs and, you know, the vegetables in the garden. A lot of, especially down south, they do have their own, you know, they grow their own vegetables and the tomatoes. It's just the flavors. So I think Italians have always had farm to table. It's been something in the cities that they say, oh, farm to table, but Italians,
correct.
that's what they know, farm to table. Fresh ingredients is the key.
I
Yeah.
understand that. I remember having lunch there in the countryside. Don't remember the exact location, Tuscany area, and it took 4 hours for this lunch. And I thought, well, this is nice that we can just leisurely chat like this. But it was also because they were going out to the garden and bringing back what they were going to cook. I mean, it was a long process. And I specifically remember this older woman with an apron, and she walked out and nodded to us and walked out the door, came back, I don't know, 20 minutes later, I have no idea, in that apron held up, and it was all filled with mushrooms that was going to be in the dish. I was like, this is amazing. It's amazing. Hard to duplicate that. We all want to hang out with you. We all want to spend the day with you. Any personal tips, little personal insight? You've done so much, and I'm just going to hand it back to you to share with us whatever's on your mind, because we're all looking for inspiration. We're wowed by your pictures. We're
Oh,
inspired
thank
by
you.
the
You're
places
very
you
kind.
travel. I mean, the architect, the cathedrals, the steps, the cobblestones, the beautiful sky, the incredible everything. I mean, that's got to be inspiring, like waking up like, I'm here. Tell us how you're feeling, and what inspires you, and some personal insights, please, Grace. We really want to tap into that. I admire her so much, you guys. You know, we were going to do this interview
You're
a
so
while
sweet.
back. Her husband passed away recently, and I admire her pivoting towards caring for us and loving us and putting things in front of us that inspire us. You could have just gotten quiet, but you didn't. You're living this beautiful life filled with vibrancy, and I wanted to say that to you. I admire you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words. I think Andre was, yeah, he wouldn't have been happy if I wasn't continuing on. He was full of life himself. He was, you know, I used to say, "I love your joie de vivre for life," you know. So, and he was the same. So we shared that very much, and the love of travel and food, what fine dining. So we had that in common. So yeah. I think, yeah, I think the through Italy, there's a lot of wow factors. You can't go to even the small towns; these tiny towns have a lot of wow factor. Like after 3 years of in Florence, I still walking to see the Brunelleschi Duomo. It still makes me wow. I still say wow 3 years later. So yeah, Italy has that. It has that wow factor. It's not just food, and the people too. I must admit, yeah, they're warm and kind. You know, I remember, yeah, when I had Andre wasn't well, he was on a walking stick and a wheelchair. People always came to offer, you know, need our help, you need our help. So they are. I think that's what draws people to Italy. I think that's one of the hospitable. I mean, they do hospitality too. They really know how to do it. So, and I'm not being biased because I'm Italian. I've traveled the world, and each country has its own, you know, specialties. But the Italians, I think, know how to do hospitality. Yeah, for
Last
sure.
question. What's the best way to study the culture? I know we're getting a wrap signal here. What's the best way to study the culture? Do you buy books, Google it? What's your tips on that, Grace?
Well, I used to buy books, and now it's Google. Yeah, yeah, just yeah, Google the heck out of it, and look for.
That's great.
Also, there's so many guides now. There's just a lot. I mean, we're technology, even the apps. You know, technology is amazing. You know, you can get an app for everything. You know, a
Like
lot of the
for
travel.
translating. Mhm.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I Google research everything. Yeah.
Mhm. Last
So
question, is self-care for you the spa or just a walk outside with all that view? I mean, every time I look at the pictures that from you, it's just like, wow, that'd be self-care right there. That'd be like a spa moment.
definitely, yeah, all of the above for sure, for sure. But one of my favorite things that truly relaxes me, and I needed this in New York whenever I was sort of stressed and I needed time to think and just tune out of the workday, I would grab my secretary and I'd go to the plaza for afternoon tea. You have no idea how that used to rejuvenate me. It would get me, I don't know, relaxed and thinking and solve problems. So that's my go-to. Everywhere I go, I find afternoon tea. Henry James said it best. There's nothing like the hour dedicated to afternoon tea, and I love it. I love it. So,
Oh, that
um,
sounds wonderful. I'm with you on that. With you,
and
definitely
on
with
my
you on.
website, yeah, and on my website, I have all my tea places I've gone to. Some of my favorites, actually, in New York, the Baccarat Hotel has. Oh
Oh,
my God, I don't know. The
really?
best champagne tastes better in a Baccarat glass, and
How often do you get to go back to New York?
it's.
Do you go back often?
I'm heading back now in 3 weeks,
Cool.
and I'm doing the with a friend the Queen Mary 2 cruise
You
to
are?
London. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I'm excited.
we will
Yeah,
be going with you vicariously. Thank you for posting on social media so we can follow you like your shadow. We love you. You're inspiring. And there is something
thank
about, just think
you.
about that, the afternoon tea. Think about the environment. We talked about Italy, her energizing trips to New York. Where you place yourself, it feeds how you act, how you become, how you feel, right? And sometimes
Oh,
we can
exactly.
even get that inspiration from someone else. And we've done that with you today. Grace, thank
Oh,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Carmela. This was lovely. You're very kind. When you first
I'm,
suggested, I thought, I don't know if there's anything special that I can bring to the table, but
you brought a lot
you're
to the
very
table.
kind. Thank you
Funny.
so much for having me.
She's like, I don't know what I would what can I bring to the table? Oh my goodness, you brought so much to the table. Okay, we're all going to your website, travel with style and grace.com, right? Peter's putting those links up. Go check it out. Go see it. Maybe we'll all
Thank
end up
you,
in
Peter.
Tuscany together. Thank you to our
Come,
producer, Peter.
you're in Florence.
Grace,
Look me up, everyone.
we'll do that.
Afternoon
Ciao.
tea. Ciao. Ciao,
Grazie.
Bella. Thank you.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
Bye, Grace.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Oh my gosh. Oh, feel like I've been there and back. Didn't want to come back though. Just wanted to stay there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening into the podcast, for watching with our guest, Grace Gallo. I'll see you next time under the spotlight. We have an epic lineup. And to know first who's coming, go ahead, get on our VIP list, carmelasterling.com. And I'll see you next time under the spotlight with a cheers. Really, Peter, thank you for everything you did today. Thank you to our audience and thank you to our guests. And how about this technology to take us for a tour of Italy right from our own homes with the energy, clarity, focus. And by the way, I'm experiencing some weight loss, which is great. So appetite suppressant in this drink. It's called Perks. Want more information, just reach out. We'll make sure you're connected. Enjoy it. It tastes like summer in a glass. See you next time under the spotlight. Cheers. Arrivederci.